I'd like to begin by thanking First Call, Spark BC, and Campaign 2000 for the work of keeping this in the forefront of policy consideration. At Vancouver Foundation, we're very grateful that First Call and partners have taken the time to shine a light on the increased reality of poverty that young people leaving foster care face. The stats and the stories and the reality is quite bleak. You can find it most days when you open the newspaper. The stats are the kinds that will make you feel uncomfortable, that will shake you to your core. If you're a parent, whether you're a parent of a child or a parent of a teen, you can recognize how unfair it is that we have promised family and support to children and that we are not delivering. We, as citizens who elect our government, we are collectively failing children and youth, both in this province and those that we promise the care of family to in foster care. However, given the reality, we do believe that British Columbians can act much better than they have in the past. We believe that there is possibility for change, for real change. In a recently released publication in partnership with the SFU School of Public Policy, we discovered that the cost of the status quo, which is the cost of continuing to do what we're doing with young people when they're in foster care and as they leave foster care, costs between $222 and $268 million. That's the cost of doing nothing. These costs include the costs of homelessness, hospitalization, mental health issues and concerns, and reduced income over lifespan. However, if we choose investment in young people, we know that $57 million is what that investment would look like to drastically change the reality of poverty and increase the likelihood of success when young people leave foster care. If you'd like more data on the Opportunities in Transition report, you can find it at fosteringchange.ca. And in addition, Trilby Smith is here and can take questions later. We also continue to find hope in the beauty, in the wisdom and the creativity that happens when people with lived experience are engaged in the work of advocacy, solution finding, and policy development. The burden of those stories and those realities don't need to just sit with those who have lived experience. They need to exist in the institutions and the organizations that support families and children and young people, and to make more and more space for an ethical representation of those stories and for helping them identify the policy solutions that can really make change in their lives. We also know that the public parent, British Columbians as a whole, do value fairness, and they care for children and youth in this province, and not just their own children and youth. They really do care about children and youth in this province, and in fact, we know this because 17,000 of them have already signed a petition stating a level of support that would really help young people leaving foster care. This is not just a support for things that would feel good, but we're talking about support for financial assistance to the age of 25. We're talking about practice and policy that ensures that when young people leave foster care, they're provided with the opportunity to maintain and sustain healthy relationships of their own choosing. And also, British Columbians know how important it is that young people have a sense of connection to their community, which would increase a sense of belonging and therefore would enrich the lives of young people, but ultimately our own neighborhoods and communities and cities. The urgency of this issue must not be lost in the political battleground that is to ensue. This is a moral issue. This is not about charity. It's not about who is deserving of a good life. Children and youth must not continue to bear the brunt of policy that keeps them in deep poverty, and we can all work to make sure that this changes. The recent anniversary of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child can help us remember the kind of society that we have and the values that we share about how we care for children and youth in our communities. And when I think about this report, and as I go about my day, and I remember that number, 163,260, it will continue to make my stomach turn. It will continue to make me tear up because it's completely unacceptable. However, I will also remember that it is absolutely possible to prevent, reduce, and end child and youth poverty, and that we all have the ability to help make that a reality. Thank you.